Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Good morning. So I'm on the old laptop. I had a feeling this computer wasn't going to work out. You're only as strong as your weakest link, and in this case, it was this tiny little microphone. Which actually, to be honest with you, when I was first making videos on YouTube, I actually used that microphone, but it's obviously not survived. Right. So we're going to get stuck in. I'm going to leave the link for the Patreon live stream up on Patreon now. The reason is that I'm away with my kids, and I don't think they're going to be in bed in time for me to make the stream the way I would normally do it. So I'm going to leave the link up on Patreon for everybody to put their questions and things in there for me all day. And then what I'll do is I'll make a video this afternoon, or sorry, tonight, probably later on tonight, probably around 9ish, rather than it actually being live. And that way I can address everybody's questions about charts, which, to be honest with you, I think would be a good day for it, because what we're looking at now is Bitcoin here on the weekly hitting this horizontal. We've come all the way down to basically $112,000, and with that comes opportunity for bounce, possibly even reversal. The 50 exponential is just roughly around this area as well, and the 50 simple moving average, you can see this purple line just coming into that trend line which we're bouncing on. Simple moving averages do count for a lot more when we're talking about older charts, especially ones in large trending moves like Bitcoin has been. So let's have a look at the nitty gritty. We've got one single drive hidden bullish divergence. The money flow index has hit a low and it started to tick up. No bullish divergence on that, though, I have to say. But I'm not looking for this to be a huge, massive pullback. I mean, it's been relatively big for some altcoins, as we expected there to be a dump in crypto. And now Bitcoin seems to have found a relative area of support, which might materialize into basic continuation to new all-time highs. I'm not saying it because I think that that's going to happen. I'm saying it because that is the expectation of the overall chart analysis that I've done over the last couple of years. To say that we're going to reach a peak here within the next 4 to perhaps maybe in 6 weeks or so. So this really would be getting close to the last month or two of what I think the cycle is able to provide us. Whether we basically go to a bear market in September or just have a giant dump or whatever. I think September, as I've always said, for at least 18 months, possibly even 2 years now, is my expected area for a significant peak in the market. So by that, what I'm saying is I think there should be some serious moves over the next 4 to 6 weeks to the upside. That would be. Right, so nothing more than just your average support that we've seen on the daily here. Nothing more than that. Basically, a little bit of bullish divergence on the RSI, and none on the money flow index, but some on the RSI. So we've bounced now, about 1%. It's really not much at all. And that is your Bitcoin scenario. There's really nothing more to say. Remember, this pullback is not just a crypto scenario. This is a stock market scenario. It's even a Forex scenario. The entire markets, all markets, responded in a particular way to the down. And so crypto is basically just continuing with that move. So we got the pullback on crypto that we expected to see, and then we got continuation of the downtrend because of stocks, which is all because of Dixie, dollar. Mostly to do with dollar. So don't get too bent out of shape with the fact that crypto continued to come down. Crypto probably would have found a low a week ago, basically, if it wasn't for the situation in stocks and Forex. So looking at Ethereum now, then, just try and get a handle on what's going on with altcoins and obviously the dominance chart, which was having a nice move, and we'll have a look at that in a bit. 4 hourly's front run the golden cross on the 4 hourly. We're up 2% so far. That's not too bad. Again, it's just baby steps. We're still 3,500 give or take. So that's good. We're below the Bollinger Band Center, which is 3,600. You need to get above here for immediate continuation, which I think we will get. But at the moment we're below it. So remember, Bollinger Band strategy suggests you're more likely to be rejected at this level now than to break from it. 65% more likely. But we have come down a fair bit, but no divergence on the way. If we do continue to come down further, the low I would be putting in on this one initially before a giant reversal would be around 3,171. But at the moment, we seem to be bouncing through association with Bitcoin. And we'll have to wait to see what stocks look like when they open up tomorrow morning in the pre-market. Over to Ethereum on the weekly. Now, we do have obviously still overheated reads on the money flow index and on the RSI. So we hit 87. We had a hidden bearish divergence around 71. Just because it's high doesn't mean it's overheated. It's not overbought, so don't worry about that. It certainly is high. And if we think about what we see over here on the weekly for Ethereum, we've got a leading portion of the cloud, which is green, which is good. We've got a positive cross over here. We broke above the cloud just a couple of weeks ago, and the cheeky span is above the cloud as well. So that's actually a pump signal. That's a pump signal on Ethereum for the Ichimoku cloud. Now we've got so much support below us. We've got again 3,000, then you've got a deeper, which is 2,770, all the way down to 2,380, which I don't think we'll see. But if we did, it's still support in the form of an uptrend. Just remember that if we come down to those levels, remember it's still time to be supported. We're not going to get panicked or thrown off. We've rallied a significant amount in altcoins as we thought we would. We've seen some decent moves as we thought we would. We saw a peak form as we thought we would. So all of these sort of things that we're seeing are not a big surprise. Let's just put it out there. So it's not a big surprise at all. These haven't caught us off guard. We're kind of expecting these sort of things. So let's have a look at the dominance chart then. So the dominance chart has basically front run a death cross retest on the 4 hourly. So this is a bearish scenario. Should be looking for a rejection and continuation down to where we came from and then further. So remember, down on the dominance chart is generally seen as a bullish scenario for altcoins as a species. And what we see here on the daily is, well, these haven't death crossed yet. You see, we are still pulling back, but we've been rejected so far on the 200 exponential, but we are above like the 10 and the 20. So kind of not really sold on the way that the daily looks. It could go either way, but the 4 hourly suggests a death cross retest, rejection, and continuation down. If you look over to the weekly, we are bearish on a Bollinger Band scenario. We have rejected way before we've hit any moving averages, and if we do continue up, it's around 63.5% dominance is where you'd be looking for the next major rejection. Big support on the 50 exponential, which is golden cross, but then a death cross. And then a rejection around here. The 4 hourly suggests down. The daily's not quite so sure. The weekly, it suggests if we do go up, a rejection from here and then continuation down. And I would expect this to keep going down because I saw a lot of toppy vibes taking place on here, more than we have seen in a couple of years, really. So if we are going to be getting a big move in altcoins, or at least a giant shift in the dominance chart, we're still seeing that, and I expect to continue to see that basically. So as far as the market is concerned, it's exactly the same as it has always been. Continuation generally to the upside, and this this move down could have finished today, but as I said, we do need stocks and we do need Forex to give us a little bit more information as to which direction they want to go. But I'm short on the dollar, as I was, as I said on Friday. So taking shorts on the dollar now, because I expect that the dollar wants to go back down again. I know we've seen a big move up. I'm pretty sure it's ready to go back down again. And I'll give you the reasons for that. Since we're on a weekly, rejection on the 21 exponential, which is quite a big rejection that you've seen so far. That's a 65% more likely chance of a rejection. Back down to this trend line, which is roughly around 96 and a half between now and September, where we probably will start to see the signs of a move back up again. And from there, we'll have to work out whether or not we're actually going to reverse and move back all the way back up and have a huge rally on the dollar, or we actually break through. And what I mean is break through the actual giant scenario that we've got here, which is one huge rising channel that's been going on for about 14 years. But the way I always see any formation is that until it breaks, expect to live within that period of the formation. So in Dixie's case, why not expect it to bounce from here and go back up here? The only thing that would change would be some kind of fundamental reason for the change. I don't really think we've got any fundamental reason for the change at the moment. Rates are reasonable. Nothing massively crazy is going on to expect that the dollar will break down below here. And even if it did, we'd only target the previous lows that we saw, at the beginning of the last sort of bear market lows, really. So the bear market beginning, so below 90, and then bounce from there. So, there's a moment, it all seems relatively predictable as to what's going to happen here. Which is the dollar will go down next week. We will start to see things move up. That might even then catch fire, and we'll see continuation across the board from new highs. But we will likely see a peak at some point over the next 4 to 6 weeks. And with that, I will leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.